And Bonds hits one high. Hits it deep. It is out of here. 7:56. Bonds stands alone.
Now Booker with Tucker on him. Throws it up for 8. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo. What a block from Giannis.
17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead.
Minute remaining. And they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown.
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
Yes. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Taproom Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan. Stacks on Stacks Lads. Joined with my guy, Mr. Big Bob Larson, looking clean in that what do they call it? 4K there, the new camera, Ben.
There we go. Yep, definitely a hell of a lot better than what we were working with before. So
makes you look 10 years younger and 10 pounds lighter.
I don't know about that, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah.
There we go. How we doing?
Doing well, man. Glad we're getting back to baseball, man. I know it's only been 4 days. We had home run derby and all-star game in there, but man, do I miss afternoon baseball game in the background while I'm finishing up work and then just watching all throughout the night. So I miss it.
What did you think of the home run derby?
I hated it because I lost money. But it was definitely a tough one for betting. I was a little unimpressed. The numbers were way down this year, which was just I don't know if that was because of the new rules and the whole time and selected number of balls, or if it was just new, younger, players. I can't put a hammer on the nail on which was the kind of downfall of it, but it seemed slow. It seemed it just seemed kind of dull up until that final round. Really up until the last 5 pitches from Bobby Witt. So
yeah, I didn't like the format. And I didn't like the format before this. I think we should go back to the 10 out thing. I don't care that there's only 15 home runs, but it makes it more what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? It makes it more every pitch matters.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then you can also take pitches. For example, Gunner's pitcher was throwing at his fucking ankles, dude. But it's he can't sit there and take pitches because he only has 2 minutes.
Yeah, and you only have 40 balls.
Yeah. And same thing with Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso's pitcher was terrible too. So the 10 out thing, in my opinion, it lets guys actually hit balls that are meant to be hit for home runs rather than just fucking swinging at everything because they have to.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I took away from it. I thought it was bad because of that, because we got shitty performances because the dudes pitching were fucking terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you said, they felt like they had to swing at everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if I were to change it, I'd go back to the 10 out rule.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the 10 outs.
Yeah.
That's how I would do it. What did you think of the All-Star game? AL wins 5-3.
Yeah. Again, rough, man. I had the under 7.5. I had NL. It was a bad All-Star week for me.
The under was paying too. The under was paying too because it closed at 7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's you had 7.5, especially if you got it minus 105 or minus 110. You got a hella good number because it went to minus 120 and then minus 125, then minus 130, and then it finally went down to 7.
Yeah.
Over
Yep.
was -120, under was even money. And yeah, it was like that was definitely pain. And honestly, it sucked too because like Tanner Houck gave up a 3-run home run, but he should have been out of the inning with no
Mhm.
runs because there was a double play ball hit to Semien and he fucking bobbled it,
Yep.
and that's what got Otani up, and then that was a 3-run home run. So I mean, like you take that, and I don't even know if they ruled it an error, but it was definitely a fucking error. But I don't know if they're gonna rule it an error in an All-Star game. I don't know if they're like
Yeah.
about that, but you know, you you take that away and like that game fucking soars under.
Yep.
So it was really only 3 swings is what scored all the runs.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was
I mean,
walks
I thought it
and
was I
swings.
thought it was a good game. I liked having everybody mic'd up and talking to everybody while they're playing. I think it's a hell of a lot better to do it in the All-Star game setting versus an actual game that means something.
Yep.
Um, and talking about their processes for every pitch.
Yep.
How they prepare for each pitch and each play of the game. So I really enjoyed that. I thought it was great baseball this year. Very defensive baseball. Uh, um, pitchers were not that great, I want to say. A
They
lot of hit balls.
they threw a lot more starters than I expected.
Mm,
Um, especially like dudes that like pitched like 3 days ago. Because I guess in the sense it's like their fucking bullpen session or whatever. But
mhm.
you could tell like Logan Webb was fucking tossing turkeys out there. Like he definitely wasn't locked in.
Yeah.
And Hunter Green, he served up a meatball to Jaron Duran. Um, but I mean, nonetheless, like it was still a great game, dude. Like
Yeah.
seeing Mason Miller go out there and fucking gas 103 and
Yeah. Strikeout with Tony.
and Skeens going against Soto and Gunner and Aaron Judge, I thought was awesome.
Mhm.
So I mean, there was definitely some like awesome moments. In my opinion, the MLB All Star Game is the best All Star Game of all the professional sports. Like it's not even close. Like by far the best All Star Game.
Yeah. Yeah. Hockey's is horrible.
Yeah,
Basketball,
horrible.
horrible.
NFL,
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the only one that's like,
NFL doesn't really have one.
yeah, not anymore.
Yeah.
Now it's like
Yeah.
a fucking, I don't even know what the fuck they do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely, I was entertained, dude, to say
Yep.
the least. It was baseball.
Yeah. It was a fun watch.
Yeah. I just wish,
Can't believe I miss baseball so much just 4 days away. It was a little rough.
the last 2 days have been miserable. However,
Yeah.
we are in that time frame here where like, we're 2 weeks away from the trade deadline and now that the All-Star game hit, we're really like, this is where people are going to be buyers and it's going to be where they're sellers. So we're hearing a lot of rumors about players that could be dealt. Reported today by Bob Nightingale that the Tampa Bay Rays are willing to listen on Isaac Paredes and Randy Arozarena.
Yep.
There's been speculation that maybe the Tigers will move Skubal for the right price. Bob Nightingale has also reported that the Orioles and the Dodgers remain interested in Tariq Skubal. Both those clubs also are interested in Garrett Crochet. Both those clubs are also interested in Tanner Scott of the Miami Marlins. Jazz Chisholm been links to the Seattle Mariners recently. Also, the Seattle Mariners, hasn't been reported that they've talked about Isaac Paredes or Randy Arozarena, but there is speculation that they could be in the market for one of those guys. Obviously,
Would be a good fit.
Obviously, the Mariners definitely need a bat.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 or 3.
Anyone who can swing the fucking bat is a good fit for Seattle.
Yeah. Someone reported that Tommy Pham and the Philadelphia Phillies were interested. However, one of the Phillies beat writers came out and said that the Phillies have zero interest in Tommy Pham. They are targeting Brent Rooker. That is who they want to get. So a lot of rumors, obviously. What's your thoughts on any of the trade market and Do you think that do you think Scooball there's a chance he gets traded?
No, no. And we talked about this before the All-Star break, and no, I don't think he gets traded at all. Um, I think it's it's is he going to be a free agent
No,
or does he have time left?
he's under contract for 3 years.
Okay, yeah. So, and that's probably the biggest deal. I know he won't have the draw that he does at this point unless he puts up back-to-back years with great numbers. But I think Detroit is building something, and part of building and part of being a great team is having a legitimate number one that batters are afraid of when you go up to the plate. And with their young guys, with their kind of look towards next year, I think, safe to say you're 12 games back, you're not going to be really fighting for the division. I think they're what,
think they're 5.5.
7 games back
Games,
from
yeah.
the wild card. I think you're right at that edge of pretty much being out of it at this point. So, you can still entertain getting close to that, fourth or fifth position in the wild card. But I mean, you got some good teams that you're gonna have to hop over. Astros being one of them, then Seattle, Kansas City, Boston's right there, the Twins are right there. Either of the Yankees or the Orioles are going to be in that wild card, spot. So, and then you have the Rangers a half game behind them. So, I don't. I think you can use this year and use Scooball to build for next year. Hopefully, get another big free agent signing because you do have a legitimate number one starter.
Yeah.
And, again, just build this team for what it should be next year or the year after.
Yeah. However, your talk of like getting a bat, like those aren't easy to come by. So I do think that if the Orioles offer them a package of, Colton Cowser, Kobe Mayo, and Samuel Basallo, like I think that's very, very difficult to pass up. I think if you're the Tigers, you definitely have to consider it.
Yeah.
Now, do I think that Scooball is going to get traded? No, I don't. But I do think that a package could entice him. I do think they trade Jack Flaherty, though, because Jack Flaherty is an unrestricted free agent. So he'll definitely get traded.
Yep.
That feels like a Dodgers type move to me.
Yeah. I also think Detroit patrons of Detroit Detroitians would fucking riot if they traded Scooball.
I don't know. Not if you get like a package like MLB ready bats from the Orioles like that, because I mean, like,
no, I think they still.
Then the Tigers
they would still
could have a nasty ass lineup, which is something that they lack very much. And I know Scooball is like one of the best pitchers, but at the end of the day, like he only plays every fifth day, Ben.
Yeah.
There's only so much a starter can do. Like they're not going to carry your whole franchise.
Yeah. When was the last time they had a starter that won the Cy Young though?
Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer.
It's a little more recent than I thought. Shit.
You were thinking like Jack Morris or something?
I was thinking a lot longer than what, like 10 years ago?
Shit, I think Scherzer won in Detroit in like 2017.
No, it wasn't that recent.
Yeah, I think so. It was like 2016 or 2017. I know Verlander won the MVP in 2012. Not only did he win the Cy Young, he won the MVP as well. But Scherzer, I'm pretty sure, was 16 or 17.
They have won 5. No, Max Scherzer 2013.
Oh, was it 13?
Yeah.
Verlander was 2012.
10 years ago, yeah. Willie Hernandez. No, Verlander was 2011.
2011, that's right.
Yeah. And then before that, though, Willie Hernandez, 84. Denny McClain, 68 and 69.
Damn, Jack Morris never won a Cy Young?
Nope.
Damn, that's crazy. Did Verlander win more than one? He won more than one, right? With Detroit?
No,
He only won one?
only won one.
Damn.
And Verlander, he won the MVP and Cy Young in 2011.
Yeah.
And the Triple Crown.
Yeah. He had like lowest ERA, led the league
He
in
was Rookie of the
strikeouts.
Year in 06.
Yeah. Damn, I thought he won the Cy Young more than once. I know he won it with Houston, but
Yeah.
interesting. But I do think that because they have Jackson Jobe coming up, right? He's like one of the highly touted arms. They have Cadero Montero, who's also another high prospect that's a pitcher. So I think that there's a possibility that they trade him. I don't know if they will trade him, but I do think that the Orioles could offer something that could entice Detroit to do it. But on the flip side, like, maybe Baltimore doesn't want to do that.
Yeah.
And
I can also see this happening I know you're looking at this for the playoff race, but I could see him getting traded at the end of the year during the off season.
I don't know if they'll get as much though, because a team like the Orioles like needs him now.
Yeah.
Which is why
but that opens up a lot more opportunities with other teams because they're going to have pitchers leaving and people are going to need a number one.
But you're not going to get a package like the Orioles can give you right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. That's why, like, Bob Nightingale said, like, the only two teams that are really interested in Scooball is the Dodgers and the Orioles. But, if the Orioles make a serious offer, then, like, everybody else is out because they have the most ammunition to get him, right? So they can outbid anyone, and because the Dodgers, like, a lot of their prospects are, like, they're in, like...
Yeah, they're young.
Yeah, they're in A-ball and AA. So, like, they're not MLB ready, whereas the Orioles prospects they're ready. Like, you could call them up tomorrow. You could trade for them right now and call them up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which makes it more enticing if you're the Tigers, because then at least you go into next year and you could sign free agents for pitching, right? Like, you could sign a Jack Flaherty. And like I said, you have Cadero Montero, you have Reese Olson, you have Jackson Jobe coming up. I don't know if he's going to pitch next year, but, he's on the way up. You can go out and sign another pitcher. Detroit's not afraid to spend money, dude.
No.
They're never afraid. And then you have a lineup with, like, Riley Green, Colton Cowser, Kobe Mayo, or Connor Norby, or whatever. And your lineup's immediately 100% better. And then maybe fucking Torkelson finally figures it out and gets his head out of his ass. And then your lineup looks fucking really good.
That's a huge maybe.
But I
He's
think
been such a disappointment.
Yeah, but I think it's harder to build a lineup than it is to, like, find starting pitching. Because starting pitching you can, like, you could trade for, because they usually, if you go back and you look at the Garrett Cole trade or the fucking Justin Verlander trade to Houston, or even look at the Corbin Burns trade. Corbin Burns was traded for fucking Joey Ortiz and Dia Hall, right? Usually it doesn't take a ton to get starting pitching. Unless you got, like, a starting pitcher that's a fucking Cy Young candidate that's under team control for 3 years.
Yeah.
That's a little bit more. But if you're the Tigers, you could go out in the offseason, because you're not going to compete this year, right?
Yeah.
But you get that lineup, and then you get them up right away, so they get to learn how to play. And then next year, you go into next year, could be a nice lineup, dude.
Yep. Especially in the division that they're in. It's going to be a team to fight for it.
I mean, I think that division's good. Like, I feel like all those teams in that division have, like, got a lot of good young talent. Like, Cleveland's not going anywhere, and, like, bro, their like whole starting rotation's hurt. You know what I mean? Like, if they had a starting rotation, it'd be a lot.
Cleveland's playing out of their minds, though.
Offensively,
are they going to be able to do that 2 years in a row?
Offensively, I agree with, like, guys like David Fry and stuff, but I mean, like, they still have, like, Jose Ramirez is, like, one of the top 10 players in the league. Josh Naylor is one of the top players in the league, right? Steven Kwan, he's a guy that's always hit for high average, not 365, but I mean, he's still like a high on base, high average player. Plus, he's a great defensive player too.
Yeah.
Now, will guys like David Fry and Freeman and them have repeat years? Probably not. We're kind of already seeing those guys take a step back a little bit. But at the same time, Ben, like Cleveland's philosophy is always built on pitching, right? And like they don't have Bieber. They just got Gavin Williams back, which is fucking huge. Who else are they missing? They're missing someone else this year. Well, Tristan McKenzie doesn't look the same, and he might not ever be the same guy. You know, we don't know.
Yeah, and that's what I'm worried about with Bieber coming back next year. You're old or another surgery down.
Yeah, but the thing with Tristan McKenzie is like he didn't have elbow issues, dude. He had a fucking shoulder issue.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't look like the same guy. And Gavin Williams, he looked shitty his first start, but he bounced back. He looked really good against the Rays. You know, Gavin Williams was their top prospect last year. So, and they drafted Travis Bazana this year. So, I don't know, dude. I like what the Guardians are doing. I think the Twins have a lot of good young talent. Obviously, Royce Lewis. What's his face? Brooks Lee looks really good. Max Kepler is going to be there. Like they got a lot of good young talent over there in Minnesota, so they'll be there. And then Kansas City, obviously, you got Bobby Witt. Now, will Kansas City's pitching be as good next year? Probably not. But you know, they got a lot of young guys coming up in their lineup, so we'll see, man. That's a good division.
Yeah,
good division for the long haul. I mean, dude, there's a chance that Cleveland doesn't even win this division. Minnesota's only like 4 back right now, 4.5.
4.5, yeah.
They could easily overtake Cleveland to win this division.
Yeah, Cleveland has not been playing well, so.
But I will say this about Cleveland is there's teams that absolutely needed this All-Star break. The Orioles, the Yankees, the Dodgers, and Cleveland.
Cleveland was one of them,
yes. I think I think those teams absolutely needed this All-Star break, and I think that it's going to benefit all those teams, especially a team like Cleveland that's kind of been like, you know, their pitching's been in disarray, and they've kind of been like, you know, their bullpen's been hella overused, dude.
Yep.
So now this gave their bullpen a fucking huge rest, and you get guys like Tanner Bybee and some extra rest, and you know he can bounce back. And I think this meant a lot for some of these teams, dude. They needed this All-Star break.
Yes.
But then there's also teams on the flip side, Ben, where it's like, you know,
you were hot,
and you probably didn't want this All-Star break. The Red Sox,
Detroit, just one of them that we're talking about.
Yep, Detroit, the Red Sox, the Diamondbacks, the Rangers,
Pirates.
Yeah, there's some of these teams, dude. If I was them, I'd be like, fuck, dude. This is the worst
all
time.
of our momentum is just at a standstill.
So we'll see what happens. And the reason why I bring that up is because like that's part of like you do want to bring that and think about that in your handicap. Like now, should it be your entire handicap? No, not at all. But you do want to keep that in mind that some of these teams that were sluggish going into the All-Star break, they're probably going to come out of this a lot more refreshed. And on the flip side, a lot of the teams that went into the All-Star break hot, they might come out of this, you know, a little sluggish and a little slow. So we'll see what happens. Oh, the Mariners, that was another team that needed the All-Star break.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
If anything, they had to give their starters a little break.
Yeah. So which teams do you see as sellers? Because, you know, the National League is still, you know, I won't say it, tighter than hell.
Yeah. Well, I think those bottom 3 teams, the Nationals, Rockies, and Marlins, I think they're all going to be sellers. I think the Cubs, Giants, and Reds, I mean, they still have 2 weeks to decide. So if any of those teams pull a little closer, I could definitely see them being buyers. However, if there is a team, you know, the Cubs and Diamondbacks have a series this weekend, which is fucking massive because, you know, the winner of this series definitely in the looking to probably buy, and the loser of the series probably looking more to sell. Diamondbacks maybe not so much, but the Cubs for sure.
Yeah, I'd only say that if it was if they get swept.
Yeah,
If the Diamondbacks win and they win the series 2-1, they're still. I mean, that only puts them at 4.5 games back.
yeah, but 4.5's a lot, especially in August. Because at this point, you have to decide, dude. Like, you have to decide: are we buying or are we selling? Because, and you got to think of this from a financial standpoint too, right? Like, if you have pending free agents that you're probably going to lose in the offseason regardless, like, you might as well trade them for something if you can get anything for them. You know what I mean? So, like, if you're the Cubs, dude, like, you know, you're looking at Bellinger, who's making $25 million, and you're like, you know, do we want to pay this guy next year? Like, let's get something for him. You know what I mean? So I could see a team like the Cubs, like, more leaning towards the selling side, because they could look at it and be like, let's be honest with ourselves. Like, we're not going to contend. You know what I mean? Like, these teams ahead of us are better. But maybe they don't believe that. Maybe because they have a good starting rotation. So maybe they believe that their starting rotation can help them, and all they got to do is add a bat.
Yeah. The Reds is an interesting team because they are very young, and you don't have a lot of those pieces that you can trade out of there.
Well, you got Jonathan India, you got Junior Caminario.
You're not trading them.
Why not? Because you got to remember, whole part of why they've sucked so much this year is because they don't have Matt McClain, right? So where's Jonathan India going to play when Matt McClain comes back? Matt McClain's better than Jonathan India.
Yeah.
So that makes Jonathan India dispensable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you got Noelvi Marte now. You got Ellie. He's not playing over Ellie.
Nope.
I wouldn't even play him over Noelvi. I know Noelvi's like, you know, he's early in his career.
Who's at third?
Noelvi.
Oh, okay.
And then second base has been India, but usually Matt McClain's a shortstop. Ellie's a third baseman, and then fucking I don't know if they're gonna put McClain at second base now, because like he had that shoulder injury. Maybe they do.
Yeah.
And they just leave Ellie at short. But Ellie, I'll say this, man. Ellie got a cannon, bro. He got a fucking arm, but that dude makes some of the dumbest fucking decisions at shortstop defensively, dude.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
you want to put him back to third.
Well, I think Ellie's a good third baseman. He was a good third baseman last year. I think short's a little different because you have so much more ground to cover, and then you have, you know, as a double play man in the middle, and that's where he makes a lot of dumb decisions. Like on plays where you know you can't get the guy, he tries to force it and ends up making an error.
Yeah,
and that costs you runs a lot. You know what I mean? So, you know, I could easily see them putting Ellie back at third, and then putting McClain at short, and then moving Noelvi to second.
Okay.
But either way, it makes Jonathan India dispensable, right?
Yeah.
So
forgot about Marte because of his juicing at the beginning of the year.
Yep. But at the same time, it's like you get Matt McClain back with that team, bro, and it's like, man, you can make some noise, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you tried India, maybe you move him to the corner outfield spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who's at first?
Junior.
Okay. Yeah.
Caminario.
Yep.
There's another guy they could trade. He's only signed for 1 year.
Who's behind the plate?
Tyler Stevenson.
Okay.
Also a good catcher.
Yeah.
Their outfield's like their weakest.
Yeah.
Because Encarnacio Strand is hurt, so he's not playing. Although that kid Reese Hines that they just called up, man, motherfucker got like 5 home runs in 7 games, dog. Dude's nice, but I don't know if he continues that.
Yeah,
it's gonna be tough to continue. And then Will Benson, like, he fucking fell off a cliff this year, dude. Like, I don't know what the fuck happened with that motherfucker. And then I like Stuart Fairchild in center field. He's a incredible defensive center fielder, which I think minimizes your importance at the plate. So, like, basically, if you have a guy like that in center field, Basically anything.
100% agree.
Basically anything he gives you in at the plate, I'll just take.
It's a
dude.
benefit. Yep.
Yeah. Because that dude makes incredible fucking plays, dude. Like that very few guys can make, which I think is invaluable in center field nowadays. With how hard guys hit balls.
Yep.
But the Reds are interesting, Ben, because that's a team that, probably a playoff team if they were healthy all from the start.
Mm-hmm.
And they're right there.
Yeah.
The Pirates, another interesting team, Ben. 1.5 back. Jared Jones is hurt, right? We don't know when he's coming back. Paul Skeens is he was playing college baseball a year ago.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to have to restrict his innings.
Yeah.
And what does that do if you even get to the playoffs? How is he going to pitch?
His arm might
in the
fall
playoffs. Yeah.
But, I mean, they got to get there first, and they need him to get there.
To get there, yeah.
So, I'm interested to see. I think the Pirates, if they go on a losing streak here to start the second half, I think they're definitely going to be sellers, and I think they're going to really have to contemplate shutting Skeens down, dude. Because they got to think bigger picture here.
Yeah.
Especially if Jared Jones is hurt. Because we don't know when he's coming back yet. So
they haven't announced how bad it is.
Yeah, well, they said he had like a lat strain, so basically that's usually like a month injury. I don't know about like pitching. Pitching's got to be even harder than like swinging a bat when you're. Because I was like, oh, that's crazy, bro. So if he's out that long, then I mean, dude, that's tough.
Yep.
Because that team can't hit.
Yeah. Yeah, they need him.
They need him bad.
Yep.
And then you got the Padres, and the Mets have been scorching hot.
Yeah, and they're one of those teams that you kind of were not happy that you're going to.
Yeah, they've been
going into All-Star break.
They were the hottest team in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. But yeah, on Sunday we're gonna have a lot more to talk about this because we're gonna be a series in, and we're gonna be 9 days away from the trade deadline on Sunday. Yep. So we'll be a lot closer. We'll know a lot more. We'll kind of see where these teams are at. One team I can tell you that's not going to sell is the Padres. It doesn't matter where they're at. They're definitely not selling. They'll probably be buyers at the deadline. But let's talk about some games tomorrow, Ben. Let's break them down. The first game we got is the Diamondbacks.
First game of the day.
At the Cubs. This game starts at 2:20 Eastern, which is 11:20 Pacific Standard Time.
Yep.
This game is at Wrigley Field. We got Ryan Nelson on the mound for the Diamondbacks. He'll be opposing Justin Steele. Right now, you can get, it's basically all over the board. I'll do the consensus, which is Diamondbacks -106, Cubs -$1.04. And then the total is off the board because it's Chicago, so we don't get a total until tomorrow. Because it's Wrigley.
Yep. I
think FanDuel has a 7.5 up. But we'll see.
Okay.
But what's your thoughts on this one, Ben?
I definitely lean Chicago. Just before we kind of dive into anything, you definitely have a better pitcher on the hill with Chicago and Justin Steele. Arizona does hit lefties a little bit better than righties, but Ryan Nelson is just he's not that strong of a pitcher. So it's going to be interesting to see how Chicago can put up runs here. I'm definitely looking at the possibility of an over as long as it's not scorching high. I think both of these teams are going to hit tomorrow. It's just that number that comes out is going to be really interesting. I'd say probably if you're at 8.5 or lower, I'd go with the over.
Well, I think the wind.
Maybe look at first. What's that?
Wind has a lot to do with in Chicago because if it's blowing in hard, dude, like balls they don't fly out. which makes it tough. Because basically any pop fly just turns into a fucking out. Any fly ball turns into an out. I will say this about Ryan Nelson. Ryan Nelson, 4.98 ERA, 4.47 xFIP, but he's been a lot better in July. He faced the Dodgers and the Padres. In both those games combined, he went 11 and 2/3 and only gave up 2 runs total. The big thing is like he doesn't have a lot of swing and miss, so he doesn't strike out a lot of guys. So he gets hit, so he really relies on the BABIP. So against the Dodgers, the BABIP was 333, which is pretty high. Only went 5 innings, but they couldn't score runs. And he had a 61% ground ball rate, which is really, really good. Against San Diego, the BABIP was 125 and only a 35% ground ball rate. But he had 5 Ks in 6.2 thirds innings. And then against Toronto, 238 BABIP. So basically in these last 3 starts, I mean, it's been pretty fucking good, to say the least. And he's held 2 good teams down in the Dodgers and the Padres on the road, nonetheless. On the road. So that is...
He's really good with... he's not really good, but he pitches the fastball 52% of the time. You got Ian Happ, Garrett Cooper. Oh, I don't know if Garrett Cooper is going to play. Morel, Suzuki. Those players hit the 4-seam very well.
He's also been better against lefties than he has been against righties.
Okay.
Righties are hitting 341, slugging 523 off him. Lefties only hitting 247, slugging 448 off him. He really gets hit first time through the order and third time through the order.
Nelson?
Yeah.
Maybe we looked at the first 5 over. I mean, again, we don't know where that's going to sit, but
I don't know
if pitchers pitch on home runs.
I don't know if the Diamondbacks are going to hit Steele, though.
Diamondbacks hit lefties a lot better than they do righties. Steele's pitch great baseball.
Diamondbacks couldn't hit JP Sears.
Yeah. Let's see. Justin Steele, what do you throw? You throw the 4-seam 60% of the time. Boy, they.
And the Diamondbacks smash fastballs. They're the number 1 fastball hitting team in the MLB right now.
Yeah.
But the thing is like 3 of their top fastball hitting players are lefties. One of them's hurt, Blaze Alexander. Barnhart is no longer on the team. Pavin Smith isn't playing.
Jock, you got McCarthy.
Yeah, but Jock and McCarthy are lefties.
Okay.
And Jock doesn't hit lefties at all. He probably won't even be in the lineup tomorrow. McCarthy will be in the lineup. But Steele's been nasty against lefties. He's like basically... Lefties are... let me pull it up. Lefties are hitting 148 and slugging 204 against him.
Yikes. What about Marte? Is he...
Marte's switch hitter.
Okay.
So is Perdomo. but basically, like, their best... Grichuk hits fastballs well. Grichuk smashes lefties, too.
Grichuk doesn't hit fastballs that well.
But he smashes lefties.
Yeah.
Let me see. Arizona. Gurriel has 160 WRC plus against lefties. Marte 200 WRC plus. Chuck 119 WRC plus. Yeah. Christian Walker 118. Perdomo 106. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of their guys that are in their lineup are going to have over 100 WRC plus against lefties that are going to play tomorrow.
But he couldn't just hit Sears.
Yeah, I mean, that's baseball.
Yeah.
It happens.
I don't know over here.
Yeah, I might be with you. It's just tough in Chicago, like, until you know the weather.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, a lot of fly balls end up turning into
outs instead of home runs.
Yeah, they're just fucking flyouts.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the flip side, like Suzuki, Morel, they're righties. Horner, they're probably gonna hit fucking right now. Well, shit, even the lefties. I mean, he's not great against lefties either. Fucking Hap, Michael Bush. I mean, Justin Steele is definitely the better starter here.
Yeah.
That's not even fucking close.
Yeah, I kind of lean. You're probably not going to get great numbers for this, but I lean Chicago first 5 money line, and then probably full game over.
God damn, Ryan Nelson is a lot worse against righties than he is lefties. Lefties off his fastball only hitting 187. Righties off his fastball 360.
Yeah.
Off his cutter 359. That is very, very interesting. How the fuck you have reverse splits like that? Yeah, I think I'm with you, Ben. I think I like the over.
Mm-hmm.
And then I too would. I mean, I'd probably play. I lean Cubs money line for the price. I think it's mispriced a little bit as them being a dog. I think this should be like a pick 'em.
ESPN betting has them in the pick. Yeah, so if you can get that plus money, I think you take that.
Yeah.
I think I like first 5 better though.
Yeah, I agree.
But there, you're probably not going to get plus money
No.
because Steele is definitely the better pitcher.
Yep.
Say probably like 125 or less, I'd take it.
Damn, why is it off the board now?
Full game?
Yeah.
Was it ever on?
Thought I seen it earlier. All right, let's move on to San Diego Cleveland. This is a game I like right here. Right now, you got Waldron going against Tanner Bybee. Cleveland minus $1.32, San Diego plus $1.21. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I mean, Walderon is not good on the road. And I think that's. Oh, never mind. He's better on the road. What was I looking at? BB. BB is not good at home. Um,
Waldron's been
compared to
struggling.
his yeah, compared to his road splits. Um, I mean, both of these pitchers have been struggling. BB has given up 8 runs his last two. Waldron has given up 7 runs in his last two. And you move it to 3, you're looking at 10 for BB and 10 for Waldron. These are two kind of bigger firepower offenses. What's our over under sitting at 7.5? It is juiced
Well, I will say
at
this
minus
about
120, but come
about
on.
Bybee. He has given up 7 earned, but I mean the guy also struck out 14 batters in his last 2 starts, so it does show a little bad luck. Like 12.5% home run to fly ball rate is pretty fucking huge, dude. Like that's not very sustainable.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna come down to earth a little bit. And he does have a lot of swing and miss, which I think is huge. Matt Waldron, on the other hand, I mean the guy's a rookie, and he's like basically, he got off to a very rough start during the year, and then he really leveled out and started pitching some good baseball, and he's kind of come back to earth a little bit since his start on June 30th against Boston. And he doesn't strike a lot of guys out. His K per 9 only 7.93. And he has a very low ground ball percentage too, only 37%. 4.34 xFIP. So Matt Waldron, not a guy I'm looking to back right now, what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I do actually. I played Cleveland. I played a minus $1.30 earlier. I like Cleveland in this game. We were talking about the All-Star break earlier, Ben, being positive for some teams. I think Cleveland absolutely needed it.
Yes. Yep.
And I think they're going to come back a lot more fresh after this. I think they're going to be one of those teams. And San Diego's, they're just a weird team, Ben.
Yeah, they're so streaky. It's fucking incredible.
Yeah. But I think some of their guys they're coming back to earth though a little bit, like Jerickson Profar and Jake Cronenworth, and these dudes like that were on a fucking tear are kind of coming back down to earth a lot. And to be honest, Cleveland has a better lineup in my opinion. They have the better bullpen, and they have the better starter in this game. And we know all the bullpens are healthy, so they're not sitting anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I do like Cleveland here.
I like the over too. I'm surprised it's sitting at 7.5. And again, it's juiced to the over. You're looking at minus 120. But even if it pops up to 8, like I wouldn't. If I could get even money at 8, I'd probably hit that.
My only thing is the way San Diego's been hitting the ball the last 2 weeks. 71 WRC plus, 106 ISO.
And we do have to remember all of the bullpens are.
Bybee might fucking pitch a gem, dude. And Bybee seems to pitch better against better teams. Like Baltimore, 6 innings, 1 earned, 7 Ks. Seattle, 6 innings, 0 earned, 12 Ks. He goes out there and pitches good when his team needs him in big games.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta, 7 innings, no runs, 9 Ks. He gets shelled by shitty teams like Detroit.
Yeah. We had 8 Ks in that game too, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it was really just 1 home run. Fucking basically scored all the runs that he gave up.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. You can't give out 3 fucking walks, dude. You can't give out 3 free passes.
Wow. Yeah, he only had 4 walks in June.
Yeah, and the fucking Padres are one of the lowest walk teams. They only walk 6.9% of the time, dude. They don't walk fucking for shit.
Yeah.
The only team worse than them at getting walks is fucking Miami.
Yeah, the more I like this, I like Cleveland. I do like first 5 over though. Like, Cleveland can go out and put up 4 runs on Waldron.
They can. They definitely can.
And yes, BB can pitch a gem, but San Diego does still have some offensive firepower there, so they can put up a run or two. How are they? Oh, let's also look at pitches. What does Waldron?
Well,
His
it's hard to
best
look at
pitches
Waldron
is
because he throws a fucking knuckleball.
knuckleball, yeah. Fucking 38.4% of the time. Jesus Christ. Best pitch is a sweeper.
And Cleveland hits curveballs well. They don't hit sliders well. Sweeper's like in the middle of the two.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh my God. How is how is San Diego against the fastball?
they are negative. Let me see. They are minus 1.8 against the fastball.
Jesus fucking uh
Bybee throws his fastball a lot. He has a good fastball too.
the run value is minus 14.
Yeah, but his velo is good and his fucking spin rate on his fastball is fucking good. But yeah, he is getting hit 314.
314, yeah. It's a slider. That's out of this world. Man, the difference between his fastball last year and his fastball this year is
well, that's the thing is like when he's good though, he's spotting that fastball. When he's not,
yeah,
that's when he gets hit.
yeah.
And he's gonna throw his fastball a lot,
Yeah.
regardless. But yeah, I like Cleveland here.
Mm-hmm.
I think we get a good start from Bybee. And I honestly, I think Waldron's gonna toss some turkeys tomorrow, dude.
Yeah.
And Naylor and Ramirez and company, they're gonna be able to put a couple over the wall probably.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm just not that high on Waldron, dude. Like, I just think the dude's like hella mid, bro.
That's mid, bro.
I think he's a good like fifth starter.
Yeah.
He just don't throw hard. Like, he throws a knuckleball, but his knuckleball is like 80 miles an hour. It's basically like a fucking junk ball, dude. It's not like a real knuckleball.
Yeah. Where do we have?
And guess who drafted Matt Waldron?
It was an A, right?
The Guardians.
Oh,
Guardians drafted him.
interesting.
And then they traded him. They probably know him better than anybody. Maybe. But I mean, this is a dude that was like, Ben, this guy has like a career fucking 8 ERA in AAA, dude.
Oh yeah. Horrible with percentage.
Yeah. He's not that guy.
Yeah.
This is me playing Cleveland is more of a fade of Matt Waldron than it is backing Cleveland.
Yeah.
Plus, Cleveland has one of the better bullpens in all of baseball, so I know if they have a lead after 6 or 7 innings, likely the game's over.
Hard hit percentage is super high too. Jesus. Okay. Yep. Walks a lot. Yep. Yep. I'm with you.
Guards.
Glad I wore the hat.
Yeah, you were ready. You knew.
I got a feeling.
All right, let's hop into the next game. The last one we're going to talk about. This is the probably one of the bigger series of the weekend. This has huge division implications as the Houston Astros are only 1.5 games back of the first place Seattle Mariners, and they're facing each other in Seattle. And tomorrow we got Luis Castillo on the mound against Hunter Brown. Right now, Seattle minus $1.16. Astros coming back plus $1.06. What's your thoughts here? Keep in mind the Mariners lost 3 out of 4 to the fucking Angels going into the break.
Yeah, Mariners lost 3 out of 4 to the Angels, and weren't they like Seattle has won this series though, like
Yeah, they're
so
like
far.
I think they're like 5-1,
5-2
5-2.
against Seattle in the series. So I mean that's an interesting kind of tidbit there. They've all been close games. Minus a 5-0 blowout in game 2 back in May 4th. Other than that, they've all been close games. I guess the Astros winning their last game 4-1 or 4-0 was not big. That was May 30th though. Like it's been a while. It was back when the Mariners were hot and the Astros were struggling.
Yeah.
So it's tough because Seattle's putting a better pitcher on the hill, but Houston's offense is much better, light years better
Yeah.
than Seattle's. I mean, I think we could look at under in this game, sitting at 7.5. It is again, it's fucking juiced at minus 120, but Luis Castillo, a lot of strikeouts, low walk rate. Hunter Brown, even a little bit higher, but and less strikeouts, but a lot less than he pitched.
Yeah, Hunter Brown started the year terrible. He's been really good though since then.
Hunter Brown in his last 5, he got shelled by Minnesota, but other than that, he's pitched well.
Yeah.
12 hits, 7 runs against Minnesota.
I'm gonna say this. When I first saw this game, my first intuition was like, oh, you gotta play fucking Houston.
Houston, yeah.
But I do think that like this is one of those series because Seattle does play better at home than they do on the road.
Mm-hmm.
They pitch better at home. They do everything better at home. I do think that this is one of those that this is one of those games that they probably show up for and they probably win.
Brown is not good on the road.
What?
Hunter Brown is not good on the road.
Nope. And Castillo's better at home than he is on the road. 2.98 ERA at home compared to 4.1 on the road. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, man, like I gotta play Houston. I gotta play Seattle at plus money, bro.
Yeah.
At home. Period.
Okay, let's see. How is Seattle against the fastball?
But I'm gonna tell you right now, Seattle's not good at all.
You can't hit anything.
They are getting better though. Like Julio Rodriguez finally looking like Julio Rodriguez. But I will say this about the Mariners and Angels. The Mariners historically are not good against the Angels in LA for some fucking reason, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I do think that they were ready for
dying to get to the break.
Yeah, exactly. Dying to get to the All-Star break.
Mm-hmm. Seattle. You've got Dylan Moore hits the fastball, right? JP Crawford, Robles, Rodriguez, Mitch Garver, and Zone, Rayleigh. So you've got some guys who can hit that four-seam fastball, which is what Hunter Brown pitches the most and is not good at. He's got a -5 run value. Oh, and then he has 1, 2, 3, 4 pitches in that 12 to 15% time range. The cutter, the changeup, the sinker.
Yeah.
Castillo is definitely the better pitcher too.
Castillo is, yeah. Houston has the better lineup for sure. I mean, that's not even a fucking question. But the way that Castillo pitches at home, I think we got to take. I think the Mariners at plus money is like a must play.
Where do you see that?
It is right now. Let me see. Oh shit! They're minus $1.16. Never mind.
Yeah,
I was looking at it backwards.
I just lost all my baseball bets on my book on that 1B.
Yeah, they all went off the board. I don't know why.
Yeah.
They went off the board on wagers too.
Huh. It's interesting.
But yeah, I think this game's close enough that I would take the dog in either spot. To be
So you're
honest,
taking Houston at plus 105?
yeah.
Even though we just said all of that.
Yeah, because I think it's close. I was under the assumption that I don't know why I read it backwards. I thought Seattle was the dog, and I was like, how the fuck are they the dog when
Castillo's
pitching at home? But given the fact that Houston's offense is just light years better, their bullpen's probably better too.
Mm-hmm.
Not probably. Let me get that actual information. They're both about the same. Their bullpens are about the same. But I will say I trust Houston's high leverage guys a lot more than I trust Seattle's outside of Munoz. Because Ryan Stanek fucking blows. That dude blew a fucking 4-1 lead against the fucking Blue Jays. A week and a half ago. The rest of that bullpen's not that good. Outside of Munoz. And I don't know if Seattle's going to be able to hit. I mean, this game, under is probably the best play in this game.
Yeah, I'm still sitting on that under. It's at 7.5 juice though.
First 5 under is probably a solid bet too.
Yep. Then I'd probably do Seattle first 5. Houston probably full game.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a low scoring game the whole time.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's get some best bets, Ben.
Here we go.
What do we like for tomorrow?
All right, so from the 3 games, we're going to start off with the Chicago Cubs and the D-backs. We are going to go with Chicago first 5 money line. I don't think you're going to get too bad a value there. From San Diego, Cleveland, we'll go Cleveland full game. And Houston, Seattle, I think I got to go full game under at 7.5.
All right, I'm with you on Cubs first 5. I like that bet. And then I'm going Cleveland money line minus $1.31. And then I lean Astros plus $1.05. If I had to play anything in that game, that's probably what it'd be. But I really like Cleveland money line is my number one bet.
Yep.
Love that one. Love that.
It's a 2-uniter.
I think so.
There we go.
I think that's the play of the day. Like that one. All right, thank you everybody for joining us and hanging out, talking some Major League Baseball. Happy to be back. We'll be back on Sunday night. We'll be breaking down the weekend and the weekend series and looking more ahead to the trade deadline as we know a little bit more as to what's going on. So come hang out with us on Sunday night, about 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, twitch.tv/Taproom Sports Podcast. If you missed any of the show, you can download it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast fix. Search Taproom Sports Podcast. Find us, like, subscribe. Podcast go up immediately following the stream, so definitely check that out. Follow us on Twitter at Taproom_sports. Follow us on Instagram at Taproom Sports Podcast. You can also follow myself on Twitter at Jordan Rules TSP. I'll catch all y'all later. Have a blessed weekend. Let's go.
Peace.